One of the most memorable moments in the entire Assassin's Creed series happens near the start of Assassin's Creed 3, when Haytham Kenway has finished up rounding up his band of assassins in the New World. Or at least, the player is led to believe they're assassins. Haytham, after all, uses a hidden blade, is just as charismatic as previous series protagonist Ezio Auditore, and has, up until this point in the campaign, played the part of a hero, busting Native Americans out of prison and beating up cocky British redcoats. Only when he utters the familiar phrase,
"May the Father of Understanding guide us."
May the Father of Understanding guide us.
does it all become clear we have actually been following our sworn enemies, the Templars.
Why, Haytham?
Your death opens a door. It's nothing personal.
To me, this surprising setup represents the fullest realization of Assassin's Creed's potential. The first game in the series introduced an intriguing concept: find, get to know, and kill your targets.
Be at peace. You'll pay for this. You and all your kind.
But fell short in the story department, with both protagonist Altair and his victims being utterly bereft of personality. Assassin's Creed 2 took a step in the right direction by replacing Altair with the more iconic Ezio.
Do not be afraid.
I feel no fear, assassin. Only regret. I sought unity, stability, order.
But failed to apply the same treatment to his adversaries, with the big bad of its spin-off Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, Cesare Borgia, coming across as particularly underdeveloped. Only in Assassin's Creed 3, set during the American Revolution, did the developers at Ubisoft devote as much time to fleshing out the hunted as they did the hunter. It lent the game an organic flow from setup to payoff, and, as a result, achieved a delicate balance between gameplay and narrative that hasn't been replicated since. While the current RPG era of the series has largely been well received by players and critics, a wealth of articles, YouTube videos, and forum posts agree that Assassin's Creed is in decline, and has been for some time. What exactly is responsible for this downfall, however, is subject to debate. Some point to the increasingly unrealistic premises of the modern games, which have you face off against gods like Anubis and Fenrir. Others take issue with Ubisoft's implementation of a varied spectrum of romance options, or, in the hotly disputed case of Assassin's Creed Shadows, replacing its hitherto fictional protagonists with a real-world historical figure, an African samurai called Yasuke. My personal nostalgia for the Xbox 360/PS3 era games notwithstanding, I would argue it's none of these. Instead, such decline is a result of the series' gradual abandonment of character-driven storytelling, which has by now gotten buried deep inside its sprawling sandbox.
That was quite a speech.
Over the years, Assassin's Creed has padded its original action-adventure formula with a slew of RPG and live service-ish elements, from dialogue trees and XP-based leveling systems to loot boxes, tiered DLCs, and gear customization. It's a lot, but the bigger the new installments have become, the emptier they have started to feel. And not just with regard to the countless climb this tower, find that object side missions, but also their basic storytelling. Although allowing you to choose what your character says or does should theoretically make the overall experience more immersive, in practice, I found it often has the opposite effect. As scripts get longer and longer to account for multiple possible scenarios, they feel like they lack the same level of polish as a game with a more limited range of interaction. The focused, screenplay-like scripts of the series' action-adventure era allowed for sharply defined characters that were not pulled thin by a game structure that demands its protagonist be compassionate or brutal on the whim of the player.
It's a me, Mario!
Thus, while a game like Assassin's Creed Odyssey technically has more content than Assassin's Creed 2, much of it feels wooden and underbaked. This unfortunately breaks the immersion. It's too often very obvious that you are interacting with computer-generated characters rather than complex historical figures. This is in stark contrast to the franchise's PS3 era, which in my humble opinion has produced some of the finest writing in all of gaming. From Ezio's fiery "do not follow me or anyone else" speech after besting Savonarola,
There is no book or teacher to give you the answers. show you the path. Choose your own way. Do not follow me or anyone else.
To the tragicomic soliloquy Haytham delivers when he is at long last killed by his son Connor.
Don't think I have any intention of caressing your cheek and saying I was wrong. I will not weep and wonder what might have been. I'm sure you understand. Still, I'm proud of you in a way. You've shown great conviction, strength, courage. All noble qualities. I should have killed you long ago.
The writing has suffered in other ways over the years too. When the modern games tend to stick to the easily digestible dichotomy of assassins equal good and Templars equal bad, the earlier games went to great lengths to show that the line between the two orders isn't as clear-cut as it initially appears. In Assassin's Creed 3, each defeated Templar uses their last breath to make Connor, and by extension the player, question their own beliefs. William Johnson, a negotiator, says the Templars could have stopped the Native American genocide.
What have you done?
Ensured an end to your schemes. You sought to claim these lands for the Templars.
Aye, that we might protect them.
Thomas Hickey, a hedonist, calls the assassin's mission unrealistic and promises Connor that he'll never feel fulfilled.
Hugh, your hands will always be empty.
Benjamin Church, who betrays Haytham, declares it's all a matter of perspective, and that the British, from their point of view, sees themselves as the victims, not the aggressors.
You spin a story to excuse your crimes, as though you're the innocent one and they the thieves.
It's all a matter of perspective. There is no single path through life that's right and fair and does no harm.
Haytham, for his part, tries to shake Connor's faith in George Washington, claiming the country he'll create will be no less despotic than the monarchy from which the Americans sought to liberate themselves. An assertion which rings all the more true when we discover that the command to burn down Connor's village wasn't given by Haytham's henchman, Charles Lee, as previously thought, but Washington. By the end of the game, the player has more questions than answers, and the story is stronger for it.
A warning to you both! Choose to follow me or oppose me, and I will kill you.
Looking back on the franchise's long history, there is a reason why one track from the Jesper Kyd composed Assassin's Creed 2 score, Ezio's Family, resonated with players to the point of becoming the series' official theme. The PS3 games, particularly Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed 3, were, at their core, character-driven experiences. The melancholic guitar strings of Ezio's Family were meant to invoke the game's Renaissance setting, so much as Ezio's personal trauma of losing his family. As much as I admire the expansive world building and graphical fidelity of the current generation of Assassin's Creed games, my hope is that this out-of-control franchise will someday scale itself down and once again deliver the kind of focused, tailor-made stories that made me fall in love with it in the first place. Sadly, in a landscape dominated by sprawling sandboxes and single-player games with live service-style ambitions, I fear that's just not good business anymore. For more Assassin's Creed, why not check out why Shadows is not the Ninja Splinter Cell game we hoped for, or the top 10 Assassin's Creed games. And for everything else, you're already in the right place with IGN.